Good afternoon, everyone. Looking at the team, 100% of you have either listed a property, have done a deal, or are working on a deal since we've gone into level 4, and I cannot express how impressive that is, considering that the real estate world came to an absolute standstill the last time we were in this position. So here is your Friday wrap-up. Firstly, just a reminder that on Tuesday we'll be going through those activities that you've set for yourself for the week. That list is on Teams if you do need a refresher of what the priority jobs were that you set for yourself. More than half of you were on that prospecting session this morning with John Abbott, and I have to say that that is by far the best prospecting session that I have seen. It was recorded, and I'm expecting that video will be made available to everyone in the very next B-Flash email, or it might be put up on Teams. So keep an eye out for it if you didn't manage to catch it. But here are some of my quick takeaways from that session. What I particularly liked about the session was that it was very practical, very achievable activities that John talked about. He said that if we make 30 meaningful connections per week, every week, that you're likely to achieve 300,000 gross commission. There's some really good data to back that up as well. So if you earn 300k from doing these 30 meaningful connections over 45 weeks of the year, you can start to break that down. It's roughly $220 per conversation. And that really helps to keep you in the prospecting mindset if you're able to break it down like that. And because we get so many more no's than yeses in this industry, it's quite helpful to give the no's a value. I've shown most of you how you can put a dollar value against appraisals, submissions, listings, and sales. But this is another effective way of thinking about it. On average, people will sell their property every 7 years. So if you take a pool of 100 houses that you're targeting, 14 sales are going to be within that pool per year, or one every 3.5 weeks. So our average gross commission is around $27,000-$28,000. And if you take that, if I was to give you a list of 100 people and say that one of those people has $27,000 to give you, would you call that list? I'm sure that all of that door knocking, calling, and prospecting reluctance would disappear if that was the case. The reality is that our target areas are more like 700 houses on average. That means that within our areas there's likely to be 100 sales per year. And even if you had half of that size, but you put good effort into brand presence, into networking, marketing, connection through meaningful conversations, community work, you're going to be doing pretty well. John said that to believe in what you are selling, and what you are selling is you. So do you believe in you? In other words, would you choose you if you were choosing a real estate agent to sell your property? And at the end of the day, the sale of our product is wholly dependent on our ability to sell our services. So confidence has a lot to do with that, and it has a lot to do with how we present ourselves when we're talking to our vendors and our buyers. And while open questions are a really important part of rapport building and getting the information we need, at a certain point we need to start asking the important closed questions. Can I sell this property for you? Would you like to buy this home? Or any variation of those closed questions. Using the law of reciprocity can add value to these meaningful conversations. So essentially, the more effort and value that you put into the connections, the more likely they are to feel obliged to give you the business. So on that note, make sure that your connections are adding value. Have an active buyer for their home, great quality marketing information, recent sales for the area that they aren't aware of yet, a great marketing opportunity that might be packages or portfolios, the Waterfront magazine, for instance, local news that's happening. Just make sure that that connection is of value. He added that the power of third-party information can be a really effective way if you are if there's more than one of you in the meeting. Social proofing gives you the ability, gives your abilities a lot more credibility than if you were to say that you're great just yourself. You'll notice that I often sing your praises when we're in reserve set meetings. with vendors, and that is to give them even more belief that you have done your job amazingly. So if there's multiple people going in there, use third-party validation. Here were his final points to summarize. Focus on the processes, not on the outcome. Mark your successes on the activity that you do, not just the listings or the sales. Get the activity right and the rest will follow, especially in a market like this. Put a dollar amount on the steps of that process. Have an ideal week, an ideal prospecting plan to fall back on if you're low on listings. You should spend around about 40% of your time prospecting, and this is obviously over a long period. If you don't have any listings, there's no reason why you shouldn't be spending 100% of your time on prospecting. Raise your profile in your area and secure as much VMI as you can to ensure not only a better sale for the property, but it also gives you more brand presence. Value your service. If you are struggling with your self-image and your ability to do your job better than others, then what do you need to do to sharpen your tools to be your best? That's a little plug for Hamish there. Be your best. Ask people, look, you know a lot of people, who do you think will be selling next? That's got a lot more clout to it than do you know anyone that is thinking of selling, which is just a yes or no answer. Prospect every day. When you are in conversations with someone, don't be distracted. Be in the call or on the conversation. And our thoughts, if not managed well, can sabotage our successes. So try to manage them. That's all I have for you, team. Have a wonderful weekend. Keep in touch. The sun's starting to come out. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone at the sales meeting next Tuesday. Ciao.